classify disputes as civil and criminal. This distinction made now is based on the procedure laid down for the two. All civil matters are disputes between the competing parties who have to contest each other's claims in the court themselves. Criminal matters, on the other hand, are ones where the state takes up the case on behalf of the aggrieved party and collects and produces evidence and conducts the trial. However, in the Dharmasastra's tradition, only the Prakirnaka section contains offences in which the state can take so much action against the offenders. Therefore, even for matters involving theft and murder, the same procedure is to be followed as for delay in delivering the goods sold to a purchaser. A broad distinction is sometimes made between disputes arising out of wealth and those arising out of violence. But this will not cover Stri Purusha Dharma Prakarana. This paper deals with the following titles of a dispute. They are Parusya, Sahasa, Steya and Stri Sangrahana. In the section on Parusya, the expression Parusya signifies injury both mental and physical. These sections contain offences relating to injuries caused by words and deeds. Hence, the categorization into Bhakparusya, that is injury by words, and Dandaparusya, that is injury by physical assault. Nibandhakaras in Dharmasastra have followed the earlier Smriti classification of the law into Bhakparusya and Dandaparusya, and it is proposed to study these sections in this paper. Leading authors and commentators have used more or less the same material from the same sources and have given scant comments. The reason for the status quo in the law of Bhakparusya may be found in Devana Bhatta's Smriti Chandrika, who says that unlike many of his contemporaries, he had avoided many minor details of offences under Bhakparusya because kings in his times were not keen to enforce those laws. Dr. P.V. Kane, the distinguished author of History of Dharmasastra, has cited the view of Madanaratna that the kings in its times were not keen to enforce many of the rules under Bhakparusya and Dandaparusya because they fear adverse reaction from the people. It is submitted, however, that the most plausible explanation for the reduction in offences under Bhakparusya seems to be that the offences left out by Devana were so trivial that none would be encouraged to raise them before the king. Thus, far from showing any decline of Hindu law, this development only shows that the medieval authors wanted to systematize law and create codes which were more effective and practical. Chandeswara, Madhava and Varadaraja, the distinguished Nibandhakaras of India, mention the offense of akhyarana, that is speaking impolitely with one's parents, wife, sons and teachers. By way of a comment, Vijnaneshwara, the celebrated commentator of Yajnavalkya Smriti and author of Mitakhyara, says that the offense of akhyarana of the parents is not mitigated by if it can be shown that parents were on the wrong and that the accused had only reacted. On the other hand, the same circumstance can help one accused of akhyarana of his wife. This implies that the law expects a person to show respect to parents under all circumstances, but recognizes the husband's right to correct his erring wife. Madhvacharya has also given a similar comment, but without acknowledging Vijnaneshwara's depth. In keeping with his assertion that the specific offences under Vakparusya had become obsolete and were no longer recognized as offences, Devanabhatta has made a very significant change in his presentation of the law on the subject. Instead of mentioning the different offences as the other digest writers have done, Devanabhatta simplify the general principles of criminal jurisprudence. It appears that his plan is that whatever the nature of new offences under the newly emerging social conditions, the law on the subject should be governed by those principles. Other authors of the period have also discussed these principles, but Devanabhatta's peculiarity is that he has mentioned only the principles and not the substantive law on this subject. Among the principles mentioned are unequal punishment for the same offense depending on the varna of the victim and the accused. Second, exclusive joy and anger are mitigating circumstances. Third, a bona fide act done in good faith is not culpable. Fourth, where two parties are guilty of committing the same offense against each other, the one who initiates the process is more guilty. Fifth, the party which continues with the offense while one has stopped is more guilty. Nibandhakaras give an exhaustive collection of almost similar material from almost the same sources and in the process repetitive and even contradictory or at least overlapping. Devanabhatta's approach is different than in the section on Vakparusya, where he had declined to go into many offences, saying that they had become obsolete. In the present section, he cites almost the same rules as the others digest writers of the period. It is submitted that cases of physical violence with which Dandaparusya deals by nature require the intervention of a powerful agency, and the medieval writers therefore continued to vest the state with wide powers to adjudicate upon such matters. One merit in the presentations of the Nibandhakaras is that they have arranged verses from diverse sources in a logical order. The Vibhag Ratnakara of Chandeswara, for instance, starts with simpler offences causing simple hurt, and then gives more serious offenses. It starts with sparsana, that is defiling with touch, and moving through udgurana, that is raising hand or a weapon with the intention to scare or to hurt, to causing hurt without blood, skin deep, muscle deep, and bone deep injuries, breaking bones, mutilation, and severing of organs. It covers a wide spectrum of actions. The Ratnakara also adds separate sections on liability in accidents, injury to plants and animals. It then mentions some general rules regarding compensation, exculpatory and mitigation circumstances, etc. The Vyavahara Nirnaya also follows the same pattern. Madhavacharya discusses in Parasara Madhavya, the commentary of Parasara Smriti, the same topics, but mentions the general rules first. Manu had recommended Badha as punishment for a Shudra if he spoke angrily to a Brahmana. In the text, Badha inter alia means death penalty. Vijnaneshwara has clarified that in the present context, however, it means only beating, taranam. He thus tones down the punishment, indicating that caste considerations in the matter of punishments had become considerably diluted. Lakshmidhara argued for this change in the laws of discriminatory punishments. Several smritis had prescribed very harsh punishment for a Shudra who indulged in Bhakparusya or Dandaparusya against a Brahmana. Lakshmidhara, the author of Kritya Kalpataru, cites Gautama Dharmasastra, who had prescribed amputation as punishment in this case. But then he dilutes the rigor of this punishment by attaching several conditions. Relying on the expression Abhisandhaya, he said that the offense should be premeditated and planned for the punishment to be awarded. Secondly, relying on the expression Abhihatya, he said that for the offense of Dandaparusya, the Shudra should hit the Brahmana with a fierce weapon. With these two conditions, imbued into the definition of the offense, it was probably expected that prescribing amputation as punishment would become more difficult. Because of a sleep received by me, I conclude and finalize my paper. Thank you very much.